Yes, I'm back, and today I would like to talk about the racial caste system that we're currently living in. It's a wonderful book written by the intelligent, beautiful sister named Michelle Alexander, titled as "The New Jim Crow: Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness." It's right here, you guys. So check it out if you haven't already read it. If you're wondering with that noise, it's the fan. It's hot as hell. So I had to put the fan in here today. But I took some notes, and I'm going to read to you guys some things that she has written in this book that is clearly racial and prejudice and the different playing fields that they use for people of melon and Europeans. Alright, so page 6 kicks off saying less than 30 years U.S. penal population exploded from around 300,000 to more than 2 million, with drug conviction accounting for the majority increase. The U.S. has the highest incarceration in the world, surpassing Russia, China, and Iran and Germany. Germany, 93 people are in prison for every 100,000, and that's counting adults and children. But the U.S. rate is roughly 8 times that, for 750 people for 100,000. The U.S. is the only country that imprisons the majority of its racial/ethnic minorities. Page 7, studies show whites, aka Europeans, particularly European youth, are more likely to engage in drug crime than people of melon. Page 8, in 1972, fewer than 350,000 people were being held in prison compared to more than 2 million today. Skipping all the way to page 44, starting off with Nixon's corrupt white supremacist ass. H.R. Hellman, one of Nixon's key advisors, recalled Nixon himself stating deliberately pursued a southern racial strategy. Nixon emphasized that you have to force the fact that the whole problem is really the blacks. Let's go to page 47. Nixon, with glee, stated it's all about those damn Negro and Puerto Rican groups out there. Okay, let's go to page 49. Kicking it off with Reagan's drug importing ass. Reagan labeled Chicago women as the welfare queen. That's a code name for lazy, greedy black ghetto mothers. In 1982, Reagan announced the drug war, aka the war on melon, people of melon and minorities. Damn near overnight, between 1980 and 1984, FBI anti-drug allocations increased from $8 million to $94 million. And in 91, it increased to over 142 million. The DEA anti-drug spending grew from 86 to over 126 million. FBI drug allocations grew from 38 to 181 million. Page 50. Early 80s, when the war on drugs kicked off, inner city communities were suffering from economic collapse. Blue-collar factories had been plentiful for the urban area citizens. And then the 50s and 60s, suddenly the job disappeared. Prior to the 70s, with little education, people could still find industrial jobs. Globalization changed all that. Manufacturing jobs were more in the inner city, manufacturing jobs moved from the inner city to the countries that lacked unions, where workers worked for less than minimum wage. And let's pause right there, because that's what I stated in one of my previous videos, that this country has always and still thrives off of slave labor. So they take all the manufacturing, talking about the warehousing jobs, and they move them from the US to countries like Mexico and shit, and them motherfuckers work for like $4 an hour and a bag of burritos and shit. I mean, that was a little prejudice right there. I'm just being funny and facetious. No disrespect to my Mexican people out there. I love y'all, especially y'all chicks, man. Y'all some sexy ass chicks. But I digress on that. I'm continue. 1970s, black men lacked college education and attended racially segregated, underfunded schools lacking basic resources. Page 51. Studies indicated as of late 1970s, more than 70% of all blacks worked in metropolitan areas, held blue-collar jobs. Yet, when the drug war hit, industrial employment of black men decreased to 28%. Page 53. 1986, the House of Representatives passed legislation that allocated $2 billion to the anti-drug crusade, required the military and the narcotic control efforts to allow death penalty for some drug-related crime. Let's pause right there. See, they put laws in saying to give people, especially in melanin, death penalty, but you got these mass killers and rapists running around saying they not even getting the max. I'm talking about the Europeans, because those are the ones who are doing the most rapes and the killing. Okay, I continue. Later that month, the Senate proposed tougher anti-drug policy. The President signed the Anti-Drug Abuse Act 1980 to the law that severely punished people with powder cocaine rather than more than people who had crack. Talking specifically about people with melanin. See, people with melanin were figuring out ways to finesse the system at the time, and then they started giving people more time for the powder shit, because all my street niggas who are listening know that you get more money when you break it down in a powder form than you do into rock form, and that's fucked up. But I digress and continue. Page 55. 1990. Oh yeah, here we go. Good old Clinton. Oh no, not Clinton yet. He's coming up next. Excuse me, I'm moving ahead of myself. 1990, the KKK vowed to keep an eye and ears out for police department. See, let's stop right there. See, that's when it goes back to what I stated in my previous video. See, they started getting the idea to be the second police, and then, like I said in my previous video, we all forget and overlook. In 2006, an FBI report came out and said white supremacist / extremist groups will be infiltrating the police department. You gotta pay attention to that. Now we're on the good old Bill Clinton. Page 56. Clinton vowed that no Republican would perceive any tougher crimes, anything tougher on drug crime than him. And in 1994, Bill Clinton created dozens of new federal capitalization more than $16 billion for state prison expansions, state local police department. See, that's to all the coons out there who support the Clintons, man. The reason why some of y'all granddaddies and uncles and fathers are in jail for 50, 60 years over small possessions of drugs is because of this man. He purposely put them laws in to lock your melon ass up for all them years. And it cost, I don't know if y'all realize, it costs way more money to build prisons and schools. But this ain't about money all the time. I ain't saying it ain't about money, period. We know how white supremacy gets down. But they'd rather spend more on prisons and schools because, like I said in my previous, it's about extermination. Trying to get rid of us. Like I said, we were brought here to serve. And America has no use for us. We're using minorities, getting immigrants to come over here to work for less. Because studies have shown, you can look this up, they'll hire an immigrant who can't speak a damn lick of English before a black person because of the stereotypes and prejudices. That's a fact. You can look that up. And that's why I said in my previous video, we need to have a serious conversation about being sovereign. I digress on that. Continue. Page 57. By 1996, the penal budget doubled the amount that had been allocated to the AFDC food stamps. Its temporary assistance permitted a lifetime ban on people convicted of a felony, including a simple possession of marijuana. So if you're the ages of 18 and older, if you get caught with an AFI on you, if y'all ain't familiar with that terminology, that's around 3.5 grams of weed. You get caught with that over like once, twice, or 3 times, you're a felon after that. And let's say you have kids, now you can't really get a job, a good paying job, and you're banned from getting food stamps and subsidized housing. And just continue. Clinton slashed the funding of public housing by $17 billion in a reduction of 61%, and boosted the correction by $19 billion, an increase of 171%, effectively making the construction of the prisons the nation's main housing program for the urban poor. Talk about people in melon and minorities. Clinton also made it damn near impossible to for convicted felons to get housing, like I previously stated a second ago. Page 60, between 1985 and 2000, about 500,000 people are in prison compared to the estimate over 41,000 in 1980, an increase of over 1,000%. Drug arrests tripled since 1980. More than 31 million people have been arrested since the declaration of the drug war, aka the drug on melanin. Arrests for weed accounted nearly 80% of the growth of drug arrests in the 1990s. Page 75. SWAT team was deployed on their no-knock warrants. And Peter Kroska reported between 1989 and 2001, at least, that appellate level a dramatic increase over the 1980s, which in a lot of cases were early non-existent. Many cases involved people killed on botched raids. See, that's when they started kicking people's doors, especially the wrong people's doors, breaking their shit up, not reimbursing them money to get their house fixed after they came and ripped their couches up, broke down walls, doors, killed some elderly people. Like I said, they were kicking down wrong people's doors, and they weren't paying for it. This is why I fuck with Ace Hood. One of his songs is called "Fuck the World." He stated in part of his hook, "Them killers are in them political suits." I'm telling y'all this. They the real killers out here. But this is just part one, because this video getting a little long and YouTube be on that fuck shit. So I'm definitely going to drop like 3 to 5 parts of this. But yeah, bear with me. I'm gonna be back with this. You know what I'm saying? Get in the comments, like, subscribe, share the video.